Hi, I'm Tiffany from T-Rex. I'm the T in the Rex, and I'm here today to talk about what the difference is between a clear blender and a isopropyl alcohol. This you can get at a drugstore for like $1, and you can get it in varying percentages. But what I'm going to show today is how it works with our inks versus the clear blender. One of these comes in every starter pack, so you might want to know, since you only get one of those, how best to use it. We're going to be trying here soon to come out with a large pack of it and white. That'll be nice for everybody. But in the meantime, we're going to kind of show in real life, in actuality, what happens when you use those two things. So I made a little painting here. I'm going to tilt the camera down so you can see the paintings and you can get a feel for how they work. So again, we are looking at here difference between isopropyl alcohol and clear blending solution that comes in every T-Rex pack. One of the things that the alcohol ink is good for, that I like to use it for, is, I'm going to put a little bit up here to show you. I like to just clean out my brushes with it, so I was using Pink Last on this. Just kind of get some in there, and it evaporates real fast, and I can kind of clean it out and then brush it out on a paper towel. And then just very quickly I have a clean brush. So we'll go ahead and do clear blender on this one, and we'll do a isopropyl alcohol on this one, so we can kind of get a feel for what happens here. So you're going to be using droppers typically, so we'll start with droppers instead of paintbrushes. And you can kind of see here on this one some open spaces here, so I'm going to kind of drip it here so you can see what happens there. So we'll just wait a minute and see how it develops. So you can see it's very distinct with the clear blender, very strong, really opens it up. The alcohol provides a little bit more of a softer blending effect. Also, the colors right there are blending very nicely with that. So this dries real fast, so I'm going to use my paintbrush real quick to manipulate it so you can see what happens. You can kind of get rid of some of those lines there from the circles, but see how right there you can't really get rid of that line. It is stuck because the alcohol is so harsh. But that can work to your advantage. You can really open up things, you can draw things, like for example we can kind of go ahead and make a setting sun right here if we wanted, make it real big. Give that a little bit of time to open up. But now let's go ahead and over here and see what happens with the paintbrush with this. So this stays wet a little bit longer. And as you can see, we still have those lines there. So that's the effect of it. Now if you work very quickly with it, you'll get a whole nother look. Let's try and get some clouds in here. So you work around it, make that kind of opened effect work for you. There you go. Kind of a dappled look there. And that works for us. Now, see over here, that's what the alcohol did. It spread it out, got real soft lines. So let's see with a huge drop what happens with this stuff. clear blender. Same thing. It's spreading out. You can kind of see these lines forming as it spreads out. We can make the alcohol work to our advantage by brushing it a little bit. The only problem is these lines get real stuck with the alcohol. I'm using Terra slate paper, by the way. It's an equivalent to Yupo, Nara, very similar waterproof paper. Yeah, okay. There you go. So that's what we got there. You can kind of see the remnants there. They're still holding on to that paper, so you're gonna have to use a little bit more to kind of get rid of that and hope it doesn't eat it too much. It's really staying, that initial lay down spot is really staying on the paper. Now let's see with the clear blender if that spot's staying. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's definitely more lifted. So once you play around, you get a feel for these things, you can kind of make a lot of this work to your advantage and what you're trying to do on the painting. You'll see a lot of the pros, they just know how to work this. So it's worth playing with. So the clear blender, it has a re-wetting effect, and it makes the stuff you're working with pliable again. So the alcohol inks also have a re-wetting effect, but they dry, the alcohol evaporates so quickly that you have less of a window. But you'll get a very soft, diffused look there. But you can get that with the clear blender as well. Let's see, open that up a little bit more. Watch it spread out. So it has a lot less ink to work with here. So the spreading out effect is going to be more dramatic. Put another drop here. This one's already so strong that it spread out really well. And we'll go ahead and work in the waters a little bit now that this is all dry. I'll go ahead and show you what it is like when you just drip it on horizontally. Oh, these were painted about 2 minutes before the video, so I could show you in another video what it looks like on a very old painting. It still works impressively. So as you can see here, I've been layering alcohol ink. This is what the isopropyl alcohol has done right here. Nice soft diffuse look. We're getting nice lines there, nice and big. Now this one, the clear blender, you can kind of see this beautiful gradient on the edges. It's very, very nice. That's because it has a little bit softer, just a touch more gel-like of a effect to it, to the consistency. So it's also just very, very soft. You can kind of see right there, merging the three colors. And then it rippled out here. Really neat effect. They're both beautiful. So as you get to play with them, you'll kind of get a feel for what works for what project you're doing. You'll be able to make good choices on that. I definitely recommend keeping both handy. So this needs to dry a little bit. And as it dries, we're going to turn it sideways. You think this one's already dry? Already ready to work with. That's the beauty of this. It's real fast. And then you can put more on and re-wet it. I really like that about it. So we're going to turn it sideways now. And we're going to do a little bit of a drip test here. So with this, I'm going to drip these down to see what kind of an effect you can expect with just raw drips on any older painting. Watch it kind of open up, work its way down. That's raw drips we're getting there. The other way, get some drips this way from what was collected. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. And let's try the isopropyl alcohol in the same manner. As you can see, we're getting a lot less opening up once the ink is really set. It does open it up a little bit. I'm going to turn it this way, but it's much less diffuse. So they all have their place about what works, what kind of effect you're looking for. Okay, so put this one back. Okay, so these are the differences. This is the isopropyl, this is the clear blender. Very similar effects. I'd recommend using this isopropyl to clean your brushes, to clean stuff off your hands, to clean edges. Be very careful with it because it really does open up the paintings, like very, very much so. For example, you're gonna see, like, there you go, that really opened it up, didn't it? Put a little more down and you get lines, lots and lots of lines. So that can work in your favor, but you gotta just know what you're dealing with. Now this one, you get more of the classic alcohol ink look. If you can kind of see right there, you get those lines where it pushes the gradient into the next line, and you get those beautiful artistic impressionist styles. It's very nice. Whereas this gives you more of a watercolor look, I'd say, which is great for some projects. You just, like I keep saying, you just gotta know what you want. And this will take a little while to dry, so you can also try and get remaining lines in it. It's a softer, more watercolory look. And then again, with the clear blender, if there's something I don't like or I want to add, like I'd like to make a little more orange right here, I can add that, and then I can add my orange. And it's wet again. It's malleable again. Becomes part of the painting. It's not going to sit on top of it. It's going to literally use its elbows to push its way in. You can get some blending going on there if you wanted. See how we're getting a little opening up there? I'm going to add some right here too. Let that really open up. There we go. And I can squeeze some orange in there while we're at it. And watch it disperse. Mix with the colors. Disperse, yeah. So that's a pretty good demonstration of clear blender versus isopropyl alcohol. I wrote an article about the specifics of that, but I thought a in real life demonstration might be nicer too. So there you have it. That's my outside right now. So hopefully that video kind of helps with understanding the effects. A lot of that is going to be you using it and figuring out what works for you. But in recap, isopropyl alcohol, good for cleaning your brushes, cleaning stuff off your hands. The clear blender is good to use for art alone because it is more valuable. I like to keep the alcohol in hand to clean up mess ups or to kind of wipe down a painting if I want to start over again on the waterproof paper. But the end result is pretty clear, I think. You can get a good feel for the kind of more waterproof lines here. And you have more of that beautiful impressionist alcohol ink that look that we all love. So there you have it. Hope that helps.